Here we go. Hey guys, welcome back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Isn't it the best day ever? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, they can hear us. She literally texts Kansas and I this morning, and she's like, pray for my finger. It almost fell off.
Something like Nazi.
Okay, here we go. Play for me. Play for me.
If we don't fight here now, we'll lose forever. It's no more Hong Kong.
Wow.
China is an evil party. Hong Kong, no more to stand with China. We need independence.
Yeah. And what's your message to? Have you seen Donald Trump? Do you think he should step in?
Donald Trump don't trust China. China is asshole.
We want the British government to come back and rule us again. We don't want the Chinese government to rule us anymore.
You want the British to come back?
Yes, of course. The Chinese government is terrible.
What's your message to people who call the old British government a colonial power that used to abuse the entire world?
No, simply we just want the British government to come back and rule us again. Is that simple? Okay.
So you think the British did well?
The British government did very well.
Why have we got an American flag here today?
Because we appreciate the American spirit. We fight for freedom and democracy till death.
Okay. And so if you could send a message to Donald Trump, what would it be?
Mr. Trump, we are very humble and powerless people in Hong Kong, and we know that when the Americans fight for their independence, they need to pay a lot, like for blood and life, and we are prepared for that. And in any moment, if you can help us, like the American people and President Trump, please help us.
And I would like to have this chance to thank President Trump that speak things in Hong Kong for us. Especially a few days ago, he speak with a lot of powerful people in different countries about Hong Kong situation, and we appreciate that and thank you for him to help us speak out the situation in Hong Kong.
And something we want to say to the American common people is that be careful of the Chinese business activity, because actually they will slowly corrupt your whole country. The workers who are in
the crew that joined the protest, China requests Cathay Pacific to give out a list of their crews that joined the protest, and then the CEO refused. So we think that he is forced to resign his position.
Two of them. One of them is CEO. Yeah. I mean, Cathay Pacific is our company. Why the hell the communists can remove the CEO from us? We are very angry about this. And a few days ago, something happened in the residential area in Hong Kong, a city called an area called Sha Tin. In the residential area, the government started to build the facial recognition system, which is the first step of their social credit system. They are trying to make Hong Kong like Xinjiang right now. I mean, if we fail this time, Hong Kong will be the second Xinjiang, and all of us, they already arrested 700 people. I'm sure they will end up in Xinjiang concentration camp. In my mind, the communists, they're actually like Nazi. I mean, this is what I want to say to the American people and Trump, and also to the rest of the world. This is our duty to fight against something like Nazi. Yeah.
If we don't fight here now, we'll lose forever. It's no more Hong Kong.
No.
It's not if we lose in this battle, Hong Kong is not even an international city. It's just a state inside of China.
Why should Americans care?
Because Americans are very how to say it. They care for the freedom and democracy, and we are fighting for this now. So
I think they can choose not to care. I mean, it's actually it's really practically not their business. I in my heart I know that, but it's like we are raising conscience. It's like if you want to save us, if you want to safeguard this world, then support us.
If you want to safeguard this world, then support us.
In my heart, I know it's none of your business. I know you don't have to. I know that this is not your battle or your fight.
Right.
But China is the biggest, and this is what's so funny. Here's the thing, guys. If the media literally cared about you and I and a global threat, it literally would be China, China, China every single day.
Right.
And we would literally stop imports from China right now, today.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be just tariffs from China. We would stop all imports from China. And we would, hey, guess what? The Philippines, you need cheap goods? Guess what? There are other little Asian people that you can exploit for your little iPhones and things like that, okay? There are other people. If China's not going to do it, then businesses will start up in other slave labor countries. So you don't have to use China for your slave labor.
Speaking of business, I don't know.
Cheek there, but seriously,
we paused when this was addressed, but I was so excited to hear this young lady say, "Listen, you need to be watching about what China's doing
businesses.
and in your country, and China literally is trying to take over America. They're trying to take over the world. This is the epitome of a communistic, I don't know, call to arms, or, this is their creed. That's what they do.
Right.
Communism is never satisfied with just taking over their own country.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. And so the fact that the Chinese government, that military
it's like
propaganda,
a black hole. Here's the thing. Communism is a black hole. If it has the ability, it will continue to.
But that propaganda video that we played should scare the bejesus out of you, because that is a military communist takeover. We're coming into your country. We will subdue you. You will be submissive to us. And I'll tell you something, and I understand that there's a language barrier, right? But the guy that was saying, we want the British people to come and rule us. Well, I think it kind of shows their unfortunately morphed view of what government is supposed to be.
Somebody
to be
needs to
ruled.
rule them. Yeah.
If Britain was there, they would have representatives, and but it shouldn't be Britain. Hong Kong can rule. You can rule yourself.
Right.
Self-ruling, self-governing.
Right. I'm going to play this little clip here. Emily Lau is the foreign affairs coordinator for the Hong Kong Democrat Party.
So I think the police, they are very aware of the bad image they are getting internationally. So they want to tell the press, no, we're not going to invite them to come in. But on the other hand, there are some people over there who want to scare the Hong Kong people. So I think by and large, the people don't expect them to march across the boundary.
You're here for the protest. Can you tell us what is the protest movement? What are they fighting for?
Well, initially it was about an extradition bill which would allow the government to send people from Hong Kong to mainland China for trial. And of course, although we are not a democracy in Hong Kong, but we have the rule of law, independence of the judiciary. But in mainland China, it's complete lawlessness. So people are very frightened and could not understand why the government of Carrie Lam would want to do a stupid thing like that, particularly ever since 1997, when Britain handed Hong Kong back to China. They have been negotiating with the mainland for a deal and could not get anywhere. So you know how difficult it is. And suddenly, out of the blue, because of a Taiwan homicide case, Carrie Lam came out to make the proposal. So the whole town just blew up. And then in the end, because so many people marched and many foreign governments, including the Canadian government and others, spoke out. So she came out and said, okay, we stopped the bill. The bill is dead. And people say, what do you mean? Why don't you just use a proper language saying the bill has been completely withdrawn? And she refused. And then in the meantime, there were many demonstrations. Many were peaceful, attracting 1 to 2 million people. But some, the young people, they had confrontation with the police. And the police beat up a lot of people. And so far, they have arrested over 700 people already. So the people say, well, there should be an independent inquiry looking into the whole saga. Why did the government make such a blunder? And why did the police behave in such a brutal way? And of course, some of the protesters also attacked the police. So we want a comprehensive inquiry. And she refused. So that's why today, the Civil Human Rights Front, which organized the big march for 1 million and 2 million, they organized organizing another march, but the police said no march. But you can have a rally in Victoria Park. But the capacity of the park is only about 100,000.
And they have more than 100,000 people that want to show up.
Right.
And that's a problem.
Exactly. So what just keep Hong Kong in your prayers today. It says
and tomorrow and the next day and the next day.
Asked if Hong Kong police could maintain order or if mainland Chinese intervention is becoming inevitable, Hong Kong Police Commander Yao Man-poon said that while they face tremendous pressure, I can tell you we're confident the police have the capability to maintain law and order. Germany, meanwhile, said it considers China to be a responsible actor that will respect Hong Kong laws, guaranteeing freedom of speech and rule of law. Government spokesman Stefan Seibert said Friday that Hong Kong's 1997 Basic Law, under which the city was promised a high degree of autonomy when the former British colony returned to China, is a Chinese law, and as such, we naturally expect the People's Republic of China to
naturally.
Weeks of protests in Hong Kong have been marked by increasing violence and a shutdown of the Hong Kong airport earlier this week. A weekend of protests began Friday night with a university student-led Power to the People rally in Charter Garden. Pro-democracy march is planned for Saturday, along with two separate pro-government Save Hong Kong rallies ahead of a pro-democracy rally called for Sunday. And police denied permission for that march, but there they are.
Let me read a couple of comments here. Let's see. Rigor Mortis says, I live right next to China in North America, Vancouver, and they have CCP agents in the city watching expats and Chinese citizens living there.
Wow.
Let's see. Dale Jones says the USA should trade Puerto Rico to China and we will take Hong Kong instead. We would get the better end of the deal, most certainly.
Yep, good idea.
Bert Baza says, Michelle, unfortunately, the UK will not help the Hong Kongese protesters because the UK government want a free trade deal. I personally think that the UK government is wrong. We have a responsibility. Stuart the Brit says, if China allows this to continue, the whole of China would go into revolt. They would have so many different tribes who want out. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Sorry. So they will come down hard. Let's see. I guess that's it. Okay. Oh, on Facebook Live, we have Chris Daniel that says, if China arrested Hong Kong people, they would send them to re-education camps. China 100% wants to take advantage of Hong Kong. Hong Kong is a capitalist system, and they have prospered. Well said.
While I was filming, this is a tweet here. While I was filming this, an Indian tourist was telling his son and a Japanese tourist, you don't realize how lucky you are to be from a country with freedom until you see people who are desperately fighting for it. A person from India.
Oh my gosh.
I was cold all alone. No place for home every day. So afraid. But you called my name.